Hello everyone, this is Bichao and welcome back to my channel. Now, have you ever played a game on normal or medium difficulty? Basically what happens is that initially after a few turns, which might seem a little challenging, you generally steamroll into the game where the opponent usually seems more or less trivial at that point. Well, that is kind of the story of Hyundai for the last 25 years that they've been in India, where they launched two very successful cars as their initial launch slot, which was the Hyundai Santro and the Hyundai Accent. And these cars kind of gave Hyundai a huge foothold in the Indian market, and from that point on they have just been in that steamroll where they're not seeing to stop anytime soon. Hyundai understands Indian customers probably better than many brands out there, where they know very well that Indians value features more than anything else, and that is probably the reason why you see most Hyundai cars that are loaded to the top with features. And that is exactly the same in case over here with the Hyundai Alcazar, their new offering. Today we are going to go over some of those features and see if the Hyundai Alcazar can actually be the king of your castle. Now, when Hyundai started off the press conference, they stressed on the fact that the Alcazar is not an extended Creta, and when somebody stresses so much on one point, it makes you kind of think that if it is or it isn't. So I actually asked them, and their answer was that yes, it in fact is an extended variant of the same platform that is used in the Creta. The difference over here is that the Alcazar is about 200 mm longer in length, it's about 40 mm taller, and its ground clearance has been increased by about 10 millimeters. But in essence, this is the same platform as the Hyundai Creta, although there is a huge amount of upgrades and there's a huge amount of changes that have been done to it to make it look and feel completely bespoke. Now, while from the outside the design of the Alcazar might look very similar to the Hyundai Creta, there are of course a few differences here and there, with the primary one being that the Alcazar looks much bigger and has a much more imposing appeal when it is standing in front of you. Then also, if you would notice a little closely, you will notice that the grille of the Alcazar is completely different than that was on the Creta, and it's also got a different design for the alloy wheels. But I think this is to sort of give a resemblance to the family of cars, where Hyundai would expect a lot of Creta owners to eventually upgrade to the Alcazar while not feeling alienated or getting that feeling of having a complete shift in brand image. That said though, the big features of this car are all on the inside. Now, the first thing that you notice when you step inside the Alcazar is the dual tone interior. This dual tone interior stretches all the way from the dashboard to the door cards to the seats, which are, by the way, 8-way power adjustable as well as ventilated, both for the driver as well as the co-passenger. The second thing that you notice inside the Alcazar are these two massive digital displays, where the central display will take care of your navigation, it will take care of your car settings as well as the infotainment. The display directly in front of you is the digital driver's display, which will give you all driving information, which includes your range, fuel economy. It will also show tire pressures as well as a digital compass to tell you which direction you are going. And also, one of the most unique features of the Alcazar can also be accessed directly via this screen, which is its blind spot system. And what that does is, whenever you put the indicator on, that particular side's dial turns into a camera to show you if there's anything hidden in your blind spot. If you put the left indicator, then the left dial turns into the blind spot camera. If you put the right indicator, then the right dial turns into your blind spot camera. I have not driven this car long enough to understand how useful that feature is going to be in the real world, but I did come across one trick where whenever you have to reverse the car into a tight space, you can always turn the indicator on to wherever you have a doubt if there is any object over there or if there is any obstruction over there, and that definitely helps you make a closer and a much more accurate parking. The Alcazar also gets this massive panoramic sunroof, and one of the highlighting features that is standard across all the models is that this car gets a 8-speaker Bose sound system, which actually sounds pretty good. You also get a 360-degree surround camera as well as 6 airbags, and there are parking sensors in the front as well as the rear. And if you opt for the automatic variant, well, then the steering wheel also will have pedal shifters. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Hyundai is one of those companies that understands their customers way better than some of their competitors, and that is the reason why they know that this car is going to be bought by people who are either going to be driving it themselves or they're going to be hiring a chauffeur and go sit in the middle row of seats. And that is the reason why Hyundai has actually thrown a lot of features back there. Time for me to head on to the back seats and show you what all is there. The dual tone interior theme continues over here at the back, along with which you also get these manually operated sun blinds. You also get these two pilot individual seats over here at the back, which are optional because this car comes with a 6-seat or a 7-seater configuration. If you choose this 6-seat configuration, then you will get this fixed central armrest in the center, which has a wireless AC charging mat also in it. This is sort of Hyundai's alternative to a pilot seating arrangement where each individual pilot seat gets their own armrest. In here you get a centralized armrest which can be used by both the passengers. Also, if you want to work on your laptop or if you want to watch something on your iPad, you can quickly flip open this tray table at the back of the front seats, and this will take a load of up to 3.5 kgs. And if you want to be a little bit more comfortable over here at the back, well, then you always have this soft headrest cushion. You also have the option to adjust the seat front and back, as well as change the recline angle of the seats. That said though, while moving the seats front and back and changing the recline angle, you are going to severely affect the rear legroom available for the third row passengers, which we are going to go and check out now. Now, to get to the back, Hyundai has actually made it quite simple, where you have this single lever action where you press it and the entire seat folds in one single shot, and you can easily get in and sit over here at the back. Then you simply hold on to this front seat and put it back in the regular position. And I mean, the legroom back over here is not the best, but for small children, for short distances, I think it's manageable. Over here at the back, you also get 2 cup holders, you also get 2 USB ports and 2 air conditioning vents, which have their own dial. And getting out is also fairly simple, where you have to simply pull that lever once again, and the entire seat folds ahead so that you can easily get out. Around to the back with all the 7 seats up, you can actually have a little bit of space over here for maybe like 2 or 3 weekend bags for a short weekend trip with all people inside. And if you have, let's say, just 4 people or less in the car, then you can just pull this lever and simply drop these seats down with a single hand to create more space for your cargo. And whenever you're done, you want the seats back up, just pull them back with that same lever with a single-handed move. Nice. So that was the first row, the second row and the third row of the new Alcazar, some of the features that this car has. Now I think it's a good time to see how this car drives on the road. So let's go. Okay, starting off with the Hyundai Alcazar, this being the manual version, I got to press down the clutch and then press on the start stop button. There will be a lot of noises here and there warning me that I have started the car. Put it in first gear and start off. Now the first thing that you realize as soon as you start driving this car is that it's got 2 things that are very soft, and I mean in a good way. First of them is the clutch, and second of all is the steering wheel. The clutch is incredibly soft, where it takes the least amount of effort to press, and I think that's really good, especially when you're driving in the city. The steering as well is quite light. It's not the most precise steering, but it is quite a light steering, which means that again you don't have to put too much of effort while steering this car, while taking U-turns in the city. Of course, that might not translate to a very sharp handling car when you are on twisty sections of road like the one which we are right now, but driving in the city, it makes for a very comfortable and convenient experience. The third thing I want to tell you about the Alcazar is that this car has an incredibly soft gear shift. Now, I don't know if you have seen this or not, but there was this meme of a bus driver driving his bus with very gently shifting gears. And the gearbox in this feels exactly the same, where the gears are so light that you literally need fingers, not even your entire hand, to switch them. See what do I mean? Yeah, very nice and soft gear shifts. That said though, again, when it comes to taking corners, it does feel very much like any other Hyundai would, where it feels a little bit bloaty. It feels that it has a little bit of body roll while going into corners, and it clearly is set up for more soft and easy driving rather than, you know, aggressive driving. So if you start pushing it a little too hard, then the car will start understeering. It is something that you expect out of a car, especially this size where you're seating 7 people inside. You really don't want to push it that hard, make 7 of them puke to throw you out of the car so that somebody else takes over the driving seat. Now this 1.5 liter diesel engine is the same that comes in the Creta as well, although Hyundai has made a few tweaks here and there to ensure that this engine produces a little bit more low down as well as mid-range torque. And what that does is makes this engine feel decently torquey to handle this size of a car. And there is always at least some amount of torque in each and every gear that you go up to, all the way till the 6th gear. In fact, I was quite surprised that while I was coming over here, I was driving the car at 40 kilometers per hour on 6th gear, and the car was still not bogging down. The car was still able to pull up from 40, although obviously it wasn't pulling up that fast. The pull was very, very slow and very gradual, but it still had torque on 6th gear at 40 kilometers per hour that was still able to pull from that speed. And if you choose the 2 liter petrol variant of the Hyundai Alcazar, then your power output is going to be 156 PS, which translates to a 0 to 100 time of 9.5 seconds, which means that Polo GT TSI guys are now going to be overtaken by a 7-seater Grandma carrier. I hope you like this video. I am going to see you back in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and ciao.